Usually, darating yan, meron na yung NGP, meron na yung IFC, no? Catheters, generally sa ICU ganon. So pagdating, titignan nyo lahat. Bakit? Kasi pag tina-transfer yan at nagtutulungan na kayong lahat, as the primary bedside or ICU nurse, your task is to make sure na everything is in place. Kasi paglipat niyan, yung mga tagabuhat mo na NA, tagabuhat mo na other nurses na sa ibang patients, no? Magbubuhat lang sila. Pag alis nila, ikaw ay na-out na yung OGT mo, na-out na yung IJ mo. Sa'yo yun babagsak. So, kaya pagdating pa lang, no, before transfer, you ask the endorsing patient, the endorsing nurse already, ano, may contractions, may IFC, may ganyan, and then all of that you secure. Okay, secure nyo lahat sa gitna before transferring. Okay. So, lahat yun. And then, pagdating, before you clean up your patient, you attach to the monitor. Any critical care patient. Lagyan nyo agad. Why? Pag flash sa cardiac monitor, bradycardia, tachycardia, impending arrest, ala. Galing yung transfer eh. Hindi ka naman mag-auscultate, di ba? So, ang unang-una mo, itatask, no? Pag nakasecure lahat ng contraction, may magbuhok naman ng IV, lagay mo yung monitor, tignan mo agad. Okay, tachycardic siya. Medyo distress. Sige, saka mo isa-secure everything. For all you know, pag mo, halado, brady, code na kayo. Eh kung hinuli mo yon, ilang minutes na siyang brady, definitely, pag hook mo, arrest ka na. Okay. So, any critical patients that you receive, titingnan nyo muna yung life status niya. Alive ba siya? Yun yung number 1. Okay. So, pag-transfer, unahin na monitor, okay, tachycardic, tapos you fix everything. Okay. So, for the cardiac monitor, it's very important, no, kung sa atin, sa critical care, di ba, yun nga lang yung difference. Actually, one of the major difference of your regular ward to your ICU is your cardiac monitor, your every hour monitoring, no? So you have to make sure na you use your appropriate chest leads. Okay, so meron naman tayo nun, sir, right? No, for pediatric. Okay. And what you have to take note is it should not, syempre sis, dibigit lang naman eh. Pero it should not cover the whole chest. Not just for aesthetic purposes, pero kung overall na-cover niya, no, let's say dalawang malaking ginamit mo, dalawang adult, nagtama na, good morning, hindi na ma-assess yung retractions, right? Hindi mo na ma-assess yung changes in color of the body of your chest, no? So kaya we use size appropriate. So kailangan kita yung retractions yung sa gilid, kita yung no? So yun yung importance, hindi yung pagbuka, hindi yung, syempre number 1, yung work ng cardiac monitor, may tracing ka, no? Pero pagbukas mo, kailangan kita mo yung effort of breathing niya. Hindi yung natakpan na ng chest leads, yung buong chest ng bata. That's why we're using size appropriate. Also, no, prolonged na nakadikit yung mga chest leads can actually irritate your skin. There are cases na nagbe-blister sila. There are cases na nagbe-burn sila because there are infrared. Tas ang nipis lang ng balat ng bata. So kaya it's very important to use size appropriate. Kasi kung gano'n kalaki, hindi gano'n na kalaki yung burn sa iyo. Even your pulse oximeter, no? Yung mga prolonged, they're also using infrared lights. Prolonged, kapag hindi size appropriate, gumamit ka ng adult sa mga infants, no? Tas dalawang daliri, there are cases na nag-burn yun. So, yeah. So, kaya it's one of the things that you need to monitor. Kaya, we're using size appropriate din. Kasi, kung ano yung infrared na kailangan dun sa sa wrist niya, sa hand niya, sa finger niya, yun lang. Hindi sa ma-expose mo. Okay. And then, again, so make sure that your chest leads will not obstruct physical examination. And you use size appropriate or age appropriate na BB cuff. So how do you know that your BB cuff is appropriate? It should reach at least 2/3 of your upper arm. Okay. So how's that? So this is the baby, no? Kasi minsan, 7 years old, pediatric na, pero yung ginamit mo yung pang 4 years old, no? Actually, there are sizes from small child, big child, So, kung ano yung best among that, so you check, kailangan 2/3 ng upper arm at least. Kasi if it's smaller, let's say half, it will give you what? The 30K effect. So, pwedeng mas mataas yung BP, no? Ang report normal, pero yun pala, parang almost 30K na yung ano. It happens, no? Nangyari na sa akin yun. Not here, no? Sa ano, ang report normal. Tapos, pagtingin, pag rounds ko, the BP cuff is so small. Pag double check ang size appropriate, shock yung patient. Hindi mo na alam kung gano'ng katagal ang shock. Okay? So, what else? Other than the 2/3, yung upper arm, no? Kung medyo payat yung patient, another you consider is the circumference, no? At least 80% dapat ng circumference ng pag 80% yung na-cover nung bladder nung ano nyo, nung cuff nyo to give proper pressure. Okay? So we have different sizes. Dapat ano din yun. So I think sa cardiac monitor, tuturo din sa atin yun. Diba? Isa-set mo if the patient is pediatric, if the patient is adult, and kung anong cuff yung gamit. Okay. So this is everything to know. Okay. So ito yung pinaka, so what else? No? So other than the cuff, ano pa ba yung mga kinakabit natin? You have your, bibigay ko naman itong cuff. Okay. So you need to know the size appropriate tubings. Diba? So for PICU, okay. So this table summarizes everything, no? So you have newborn 6 months, 1 year, 2, 3 until 16 years old and above in the assumption na ito yung range of weight nila. Okay. So we have sa ET, no? I'm sorry. Okay. So we have ET sizes. So for premature, 2.5 to 3, newborn 3 to 3.5, 6 months 3.5 to 4. Okay. So kapag meron na kayong patient tinawag sa inyong age, with this alone, meron na kayong idea anong i-tube na i-prepare nyo. Okay, so bibigay ko to. Hindi ko din naman to memorize ng isahan lang. So it takes time talaga. Parang sanayan na nagkaroon ka ng patient, alam mo na, probably 4, probably 5. Okay. Pero, also with your laryngoscope. Okay. So meron na ding sizes dito na, so there are different sizes of laryngoscope also for your pediatric, no? So we have 0, 1, 2, 3. No, we have the mill, which is the straight. We have the map, which is the curve. So meron ding sizes yan. So you can see, so mill 0 preemie, no? 0, 0, 1. Ang 1 na 6 months to 1 year na. So may sizes din yan. Okay. Pag bandang adult na, sa kanan, mabandang 7 to 10 years old yung 2, 3 map na malalaki. So ito, cheat. Lagyan na lang natin sa okay, so yan. And then another common tubings that we need to know is your NGT or OGT. It's also the same size yung suction tip, no? Your suction catheter. So makikita nyo dito pag it's pre-newborn, it's actually 5 to 8. Pagdating na mga 6 months to 1 year, you can use 10, 8 to 10. Tapos pagdating ng mga 4, 6 years old, na siya na 12 to 14, 12 to 18. Okay? It's very important na pag nagsasuction kayo, syempre hindi maliit. Parang may masuction kayo. Baka naman sobrang liit, no? At hindi kailangan, at hindi dapat masikip na masikip. Kailangan may konting space because, you know, syempre suction is aerodynamics, yung dynamic ng air, no? So kung masyadong masikip, magsiseal yan sa loob, doon wala akong nasa suction. Eh malamang, yung suction tip mo, saktong-sakto dun sa ET, so yung butas nun sa loob, nako-close off nung ET. So wala ka talaga sa suction. So kailangan, very important na may spacing, may space enough yung suction tip na ginagamit. Okay? So anyway, may sizes naman na, so actually this table is very good, no? So makikita mo, so if your ET size 3, your OGT suction tip is most probably 5 to 8. So nandito na. So makikita mo age, ganun. Na appropriate. Or best appropriate. Okay? And then, also the Foley catheter, very important. So for newborn, actually 6 to 8. Tapos makikita mo from 1 year to until mga 6 years old, size 8. Yun lang ang isipin mo. 6 years old, size 8. na French. Na Foley catheter, yes, may ganun kaliit. No? So, you use size appropriate to avoid what? Yung trauma, no? Sa urinary, no? Or hindi namin ma-insert doon kung pala hindi ano. And also, yung mga catheter na maliliit na ganito, meron silang stent sa loob, ha? Oo, diba? Nakikita na kayo nun? Oo. So, pagpasok, meron yan sa loob, make sure tatanggalin. Kasi, pagpasok ng ganyan, hindi natanggal, ilang hours na, doon ko lang urine out. Yun pa lang, doon pa yung stent. So, ang liit lang doon. It's one of the common errors natin. Another is, so now within Foley catheter, pag sa mga bata na hindi circumcised, sometimes we pull the blood, yung refuse nila, no? Tapos yung, make sure you pull it back. Kasi it can strangulate yung head ng penis and cause edema. True story na din. Okay, so yung isa sa mga inyo, no, syempre kayo catheter, no, so pupull nyo, make sure you pull it back. Kailangan babalik siya sa dati bonnet shape kasi na yung head doon, no, nasa strangulate yung tapos mamaga, kumawa. Okay. Pwede naman yung more soft, pero syempre, it can require surgery. I-release yung balat para lang so it's another problem na sa patient. Okay? So, this table, no, make sure, so again, babalik tayo dun sa first one, that everything is age and size or weight dependent. Okay. Okay. So, another na next with pediatric is your vital signs. Oh, yun na naman. Siyempre, ang hirap, no? Pag ma-adult, 60 to 100 heart rate. Done. Sa pediatric, we have range. Pero it's not hard, promise. Okay. So, as you can see, ang tatandaan mo lang is actually your 150, 120, 110, 95, all the upper limits. Okay. Kasi definitely, pag less than 80 to 60 na yan, most probably bradycardic na sila. Okay. Kasi ang pediatric 80, kapag medyo nagsi-60 na, kung hindi yan malaking bata na mga 6, 12 years old, rarely. So, ang tatandaan nyo lang is, so for newborn, no, up to 3 months old, actually 150 to 160 upper limit. Pag lumagpas na doon, tachycardic na. Kapag nasa bandang 3 to 6 months ka na, until mga 1 year, actually 120s. Pag lumagpas ka na ng 1 year, 1 to 2 years, isa 110. Pero 120 is okay. So yun yung tatandaan mo, 160, 120. Tapos kailan sila nagiging adult range? 6 years old. Yun na. Mas 6 years old yung pasyente mo, adult range na siya. Okay. 60 to 100 na. Kung gusto mo ng short, adult na siya, 60 to 100. Pag less than 6 years old pa, dun mo lang iisipin na pag newborn up to 3 months, 160. Pag infant up to around 2 years old, 120. Tapos yung 2 years old to nasa 110 na sila. Okay. Pagdating ng 6 years old, almost adult na. Masasanay din ang PICU nurse natin. Okay, pero you can place this sa cheat natin for your references. Okay. So the BP is also age dependent, no? So actually sa newborn, so talagang lang systolic. It's really hard to get the diastolic. And since nasa PICU ka, you don't need to do manual. Lalo na ang liit. Totoo, hirap marinig nun. Kahit ako, ang liit lang ng pag nag-BP ka ng manual, halos hindi mo marinig. No? So, make sure na our cardiac monitors are all working. Okay? So, for infants, pag infants 1 year old, systolic 60. Okay? Pag, actually, 60 lang yan. Pag nag-more than that, doon ka na nagsa-70. Pag mga 2 years old na. Okay? Tapos, ang age, for you to, okay, so this is the table, pero ang shortcut for us is age times 2 plus 70. Yun yung sa PALS. So it means, if the patient is 3 years old, times 2, 6 plus 70, 76. So that is the minimum systolic blood pressure for the age. So that's in your pediatric ALS. Pero itong table-wise, para lang may range kayo. Parang shortcut. So it means at 5 years old, 5 times 2, 10 plus 70, 80 acceptable. Given na maganda yung yung pulses nyo, maganda yung CRT nyo, hindi tachycardic. So, kung maganda yung heart rate, nakuha ka ng nasa 110 yung heart rate, 100, no? Maganda pulses, pag check mo, 5 years old, 80, 50, hindi ka na matatakot. Kasi you know that age times 2 plus 70 is the minimum systolic blood pressure needed. Okay, other than pag, syempre ibang usapan na, pag narrow blood pressure, pag wide blood pressure, okay? Pulse pressure. So ano ba yung significance ng pulse pressure? It's actually more on the volume inside your vascular system. Okay? Kasi kapag narrow yan, it means malapit yung diastolic pressure mo sa systolic pressure mo. It means kulang yung intravascular. Yun lang naman yung ano nyo. Or, if, kapag nagko-compensate kasi, pag nagko-compensate kasi yung body during shock, no, para mas ma-appreciate nyo lang, bakit pag narrow, scared tayo, kapag wide, scared din tayo. Kapag nagko-compensate kasi yung body nyo during shock, di ba vasoconstrict everything. So, it will maintain your systolic blood pressure because of your vasoconstriction. So, kapag kulang yung intravascular, so super pati venous, so the arterial and your veins will all constrict. Kaya lumalapit. Kasi parang the diastolic is more on your refilling. Kumbaga yung venous return. Tama? So, kasi lahat magko-constrict. So, kaya medyo lalapit siyang ganyan to help, no? At pati vascular. Kapag kahit na anong gawin nila, hindi na sila hindi na nila mahabol yung laman or yung intravascular volume mo, doon na siya lalayo. So, kahit na gaano ka constricted sila, hindi na aabot yung pressure. Parang gano'n siya, basically. Okay, so, it means your patient is in compensated shock. Compensating. O pag hindi na talaga kaya, syempre nag-fail na yung compensatory mechanism, doon na magda-drop. So, ang hypotension mo is not shock lang per se. It's actually uncompensated shock already. Okay? So, kapag nag-narrow yung pulse pressure mo together with your tachycardia, it means your body is compensating to the shock happening. Yun yung best time to do the resuscitation. Kasi konti na yung help. Pag nag-decompensate na yung katawan from the term itself, anything that decompensate, faster yung crash. Okay, so kaya mahalaga na pati yung pulse pressure, binomonitor, even in the dogs, binomonitor. Okay? Okay, so what's the normal pulse pressure? Is actually 30 and above. Pag 20, it's already narrow. 30 to 40. Pag nasa 50, on the wider side na din. Ibang usapan kapag may mga cardiac problems, syempre mga door, mga valve nila, iba pa yun. It can affect your systolic, your S1, S2 sound. Okay, so ito, next is your respiratory rate, no? Syempre, age, ano din sila. So, as you can see, yung mga 3 to 6 months up to 55. No, pero ako, I cut off 60. So, up to 1 year old, itong shortcut sa utak ko, up to 1 year old, 60. Up to 2 years old, 50. Pag 2 and above, nasa 30 ka na. Kailan siya magno-normal? 6 years old ulit, ang 20. So, it means in between 2 to 6 years old, mga nasa 30s, okay pa. Pero, mamonitor mo na. Kapag nag-less than yung RR sa age appropriate, matakot ka, nagbabradict niya na siya. Baka hindi na siya huminga next. Okay? Kaya meron tayong range. Hindi siya, ito komportable naman, RR 15, 2 years old. Hindi na yan hihinga in few minutes. That's your predict niya na. Okay? So, yun yung, kasi tachycardia is easy eh. Pag nagle-less na sa matatakot ka kasi you know na nagbabradi siya. Takip niya is medyo tricky kung komportable ba siya or nagbabradip niya na siya. So, ano ang other measures mo? Siyempre, you check for the wakefulness, you check for O2 sat, mga ganon. Pero this is the primary vital signs. Okay. May question? Overwhelming na. Hindi naman. Masasanay din kayo per age. So, okay. Okay. So, sa respiratory, medyo nahirapan ako actually kasi syempre this is parang sum up of ICU. So, mahirap siya like in one sitting nang hindi detailed. You know, kung detailed ko hindi naman tayo makatapos. So, for your respiratory effort, no, for your respiratory assessment, which is the most common reason for PICU admission, syempre respiratory distress, pneumonia is one of the most common. So, ano yung mga common causes ng respiratory distress sa bata? So, you have your pneumonia, your asthma, bronchiolitis, laryngomalacia. So, laryngomalacia, nagsusuprasternal sila. Sila yung mga nagsastridor. Because from the term itself, the larynx is malisic. It's closed. It's one of common pediatric problem. Other than your asthma, your bronchiolitis, or pneumonia. Okay, so pagdating, anong pinakaibabantayan sa kanila? Siyempre, yung respiratory rate, no? So, pinag-usapan na natin kanina, within the range. Okay, it's okay. Medyo takipnik, kung expected pa, dahil nagsa-start pa lang yung management. Pag less than the normal, nagpa-pradip niya, no? Baka needing intubation na. So, yun yung mga babantayan. So, you check your respiratory rate for age, no? And then, syempre, your desaturations, retractions, grunting, and then the breath sounds. So, retractions, common sa bata sa ilalim ng ribs. Okay. Pero kung titignan nyo sila sa gilid, no? Your intercostals, makikita nyo din. Yung baby. Dito nyo. Mamaya, silipin natin yung baby. So, intercostal retractions. And then, you check for your breath sounds. Crackles siya, wheezes siya. No? Alam nyo naman yun, di ba? The crackling sound is your hair. Okay, that's fine crackles. No? Ganyan yung tunog. The wheezing is your alam nyo na yun, okay? And then, of course, decreased breath sound. Para pag nag-update kayo sa physician, no, makrackles po. Yung ganito, takip-nik siya. Other than the respiratory effort, one of the problems of those who has pneumonia or respiratory problem is they go into dehydration. Why? Because your fast breathing increases your insensible water losses. So, hindi sila nag-feed, takipnik sila. So, yung hangin, actually, nag-i-increase yung nalalabas nila. So, kaya sila nag-go into dehydration. So, it doubles up your problem. Okay? So, ano yung mga, kaya kailangan pati yung hydration status of the baby na in takip niya or in distress, titignan din natin. Okay? So, syempre, tachycardic sila on top of respiratory distress nila. You look for signs of dehydration din. Looking ang dry lips, your sunken eyes. Sa baby, the fontanelles, no? It's very, clue, okay? And then, the number one is, some part of monitoring natin sa ICU is the urine output. Okay? So, the normal urine output is at 1, actually, it's 0.5 to 1 ml per kilo per hour. Pero for pediatrics, ang target natin 1, of course, to make sure, kasi premature pa yung mga, nila, not well developed yung kidney. So, the best is at 1 ml per kilo per hour. It means, kapag less than 1 ml per kilo per hour yung UO nyo, you can update your AP. Huwag noted decreasing po yung UO natin in the past 8 hours or in the past shift. Or, no, since morning wala pang baby, 8 hours na. Okay? We will talk more about that. And of course, signs of edema. Pwede mo yung sabihin, don't periorbital edema na po si patient. Okay, so pwede nyo yung sa mga lalo na 1:1 naman. So, you inform your AP para makapag-adjust. Okay. So, what is respiratory distress? So, respiratory distress is actually also a kind of compensation. So, pag in distress yung bata, it means compensating siya to breathe. Kapag hindi nyo nahabol ng respiratory distress, the next is respiratory failure. And respiratory failure is stop breathing. No breathing is dead. Okay, so ganun ko siya madalas in-explain sa parents, no? Kasi, siya, humihinga naman siya. Mami, hinihinga na po siya, no? Napapagod siyang huminga. Pag napagod siyang huminga, titigil siyang huminga. Pag tumigil siyang huminga, yun na po yun. Okay. So, kayo din, as nurses, ganun dapat yung taking. Baka mapagod in few hours. No? So, hindi yung ganyan, hindi lang dahil nakuhingal siya. You know at the back of your mind na kapag hindi natin na-address this distress in few hours, pwede silang mag-SPRS. No? Hindi lang basta hindi hinga, yung